Guys, we'll save the best for last here, or we got about 15 minutes or so I think I can get you out before 5. I got 10 minutes. We'll go quick. We'll make it fast. Once again, this is the last session of the day. Thank you, everyone, for coming. Special thanks to Alyssa and Elise for setting this all up today. And I had a really good lunch. All right, so I'm just going to dive right into media. I hope those of you that participated in the Jerica today had a good time seeing their photos pretty quick and pretty fast, and won't touch too much into that since most of you already experienced, but I will ask you a quick question. Who got a photo email pretty quickly after the event? Did you like that? Was it pretty cool? All right. It was good? Cool. Well, that's kind of where we're going with media. The urgency to bringing that to the athlete as soon as possible, just like we do with results. So it's a big push that I have at this organization. So just looking at some analytics, and I'll just run through these pretty quickly too, but every category you see up here, we're up double digits from year on year, looking at Q1 and Q2. So this first one here is just a number that where my ChronoTrack digital media division, now Athlink Services, is kind of managing photos. So we've done 1.1 million photos already through Q2, where we've applied the logo overlay. Where when the athlete downloads that image, it accompanies that event and or sponsor logo. We've staffed 186 photographers. We've done 23 video locations. We've done 69 events. This next 3 categories are pretty cool. This is some activity that's happening on Facebook. So we've already created 13.5 million impressions, and that's just exclusive to Facebook. And what that would be defined as by Facebook is someone scrolling through a feed or clicked on an image, an eyeball witnessed it. The other 2 are quite compelling because it's actually engagement actions. The first one there is the Facebook likes. Just almost 750,000 people hitting a like button for the media that we've kind of presented to them. So pretty great analytic there. And on top of that, almost 56,000 comments. So quite a bit of engagement taking place around media, and so we look forward to continue making that a kind of a priority on how we approach our digital media product. What you're kind of seeing here on the bottom row is just some samples, just some images, but probably the main thing that I want to highlight is that these events and these photos are accompanying the logo overlays, which may be for a sponsor, and that's how you're monetizing the cost for these photos. And so in the case of Miami Marathon, the team was able to bring in a media sponsorship value of $5.50 per finisher. So that's some real money behind that, and the operational costs were probably close to $250. So pretty decent margin around doing media activations. The next slide here, just kind of highlighting some things that we do, and most of you in your room have already been exposed to this, but I'll just kind of run through it real quick as well. The first thing I want to point out is there's actually a team behind the scenes that's helping you whether onboard our media product or provide a turnkey service. Brandon Campbell and Stephen Murphy operate as the kind of operations manager, and I like to kind of coin them as the individuals doing a lot of tasks or work that happen prior to the event. So coordinating things with, do you need a camera synchronized, or do you need a photo logo overlay applied, or do you need to leverage our mechanical Turks to tag your images so you don't have to occupy yourself with that after the event. That's what these gentlemen kind of do here on that front. Cameron Liston's kind of working more post the photo upload of the event, and so he's the one responsible putting that logo overlay across the image, for example, or prioritizing how the images get tagged by our mechanical Turks. And this is a photo for me a couple years ago. You can see my hair's a little shorter, but I'm kind of just overseeing these guys just more from an operational execution. It's not much on the technology side. On the top section here, just kind of highlighting, so what you guys saw at the Jerica today, and then the way that engagement was created, that service that I offered to you guys today at the Jerica is something that you guys can self-onboard, and it's at zero cost to you guys. So we will take care of that photo logo overlay branding. We allow you to host video and host photos for free. We allow you to host a commercial prior to that video for free. So if you thought that service was pretty impressive today, just know that it's not at a cost to you. Where the cost does come in is how you acquire that photographer or photographers. And I look forward to creating pathways for you guys to help monetize that in the future. But just want to be pretty upfront about that. I think that's a pretty cool thing about our service. If you're like, Sean, I don't even want to be troubled with this. I don't want to do any of that work. You can actually hire these group of guys here to actually just do a turnkey service. So you just say, I want to have a photography offering. I need it to be X, Y, and Z, and it'll be turnkey. You literally don't have to do any work. This team will take care of all of those associated tasks, the hiring, the staffing, and the coordination of the photographers. Now, naturally, there will be a fee for that when we are bringing our own photographers to your event. Some things that you guys kind of saw today. Obviously, we had free photos, and we provided them. For those of you that registered with your email address for the Jerica, you got a photo email. Some other cool things we did was some video clips and some commercials. We did the logo overlay branding, so you kind of saw the AthLink services over the photo, along with our Jerica logo. Some things that you did not see that we do today as well is some social media engagement automation, and that's where we work with a vendor. We place 2D barcodes on bibs, and as soon as we have the image uploaded within, I think it's under 3 seconds, it's being posted to their Facebook newsfeed for those athletes that requested to receive that free service. Where you saw those media impressions on the prior slide, that's why you saw pretty large numbers there. And I think the takeaway from this social media engagement automation is that it is automated for the athlete. So prior to the event, and they can also do this on the event day or after, but if they say, yeah, stream the photos to my Facebook newsfeed, they just have to make that one simple request, and then everything else from there is automated. It's something that really separates us from our competitors too, where the individual might have to find their photo, bring the photo to their device, and then share it, for example, out on Facebook. By them registering in advance, all those services are they are automated for that athlete. So pretty cool stuff. There is a fee for that. And we have some information in there in our knowledge base docs, which I'll actually kind of highlight here in a second. In addition to that, we have access to a photo API. We do some MMS service through our provider Twilio, where we can actually send custom messaging and hyperlink out, but send a dynamic photo of that athlete to their mobile device. So as soon as that image becomes tagged, the MMS service will activate. This is another area, just like the social media with Facebook, where an athlete does have to opt in. So we're just not going to send MMS messages out to athletes just because we have their phone number. They do need to request to do that. The best pathway for that activity to take place is actually within the registration flow, and ChronoTrack Live does a fantastic job of managing that. Any questions? How big?
The photo overlay, is that something that you guys could put in our hands?
That's the intent, for sure. Yep.
Like the way the app does it, that's really simple.
Yep. Yeah, we're going to allow you to upload a PNG file. So those of you familiar with the process, you just kind of come through that team right here to kind of submit your logos, which you want. But the question was, will we allow that for the CT Live admin user? And the answer is yes, and it'll be a landscape and a portrait orientation of those PNG files. As soon as you load them, as soon as that photo comes in into Amazon S3, that logo overlay will be applied in real time. Just like we do today, we just have a human step still involved. So look forward to giving you guys that tools in the future. Let me hit this real quick and have fun with how I manage this, but this is our knowledge base. You guys have heard Daniel Murphy is the keeper of this, and he does an excellent job. But just want to point this out to you guys. A lot of things, and I don't have a lot of time today, but that already what I've touched on or what you saw at the Jerica. We actually have fantastic documentation, whether you decide to self-onboard that kind of fulfillment of that, or how you currently, for example, submit a logo overlay. So we have over 35 individual documents on unique pieces of how to fulfill media. I've also introduced some of my 12 years of background around operations on suggestions of, for example, like how many photographers should be at my event. That's a pretty common question that we get. And so just to give you guys a sample of these things are PDF tear sheets, so they're just one pagers. And I know you guys probably can't read this, but you're like, oh, I have a full marathon and I have 4,000 to 5,000 athletes. How many photographers would we recommend if you decide to self-onboard? So just an example of some very useful tooling that we provide to you guys if you're looking to self-onboard and you don't want to pay my team a lot of money to provide that service to you. And just recently, this happened about beginning of July, courtesy of some of our engineers under Chelsea's coordination, but these are just some recent enhancements that we've made to our media product, really around customer service troubleshooting. So the best example I could be that we've implemented, this might be new for some of you guys, is there's a photo in someone's gallery that athlete doesn't want that photo in their gallery. And now you have the ability to remove that image. And so previously that activity would have to take place here under the media photo tab, and it's like a needle in a haystack trying to find that image to remove that tagging data. Now we've isolated, and you just pull up that individual athlete, and you would just click X here. It's going to provide a confirmation if this is the photo you want to remove, and it'll take it away from their gallery. That's for manual tagging. We have not released yet where you will have photos synchronized, right, where you pair the RFID timing chips to the JPEG metadata, so you don't have to manually tag thousands and thousands of images. That is not available yet, but that's also coming quite shortly. And really what the sum effect of this will turn into on Athlinks is then giving the athlete ability to remove images from their personal photo gallery so they don't need to troubleshoot through you guys as the timer or the event organizer to have an image removed. But that's some work that's just recently taken place, and we're kind of making some progress around some of that customer service around media fulfillment. In addition to that, directly now from the media photo tab, you can get access to the high-res image. So we just have a little icon there, just making your life a little bit easier if you need to get access to that. So Chelsea's kind of made mention to this, but we've got an opportunity around release notes. I don't think this has just been demoed completely just yet, but we'll highlight that, and then they'll kind of wrap up our presentation. So this is just an example of a specific session of our release notes, the digital media, and kind of articulating some of those recent kind of enhancements that have been made, and we'll continue to add those there if you guys need a refresher. So, and that, guys, is the end of my presentation. So, Troy, final word. Alyssa, great.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah,
Sorry, I'm
sure.
It's not 100% you, but it's the rest of the team and you. We've had a lot of requests for finisher certificates, and I would like to be able to say, here's your picture, here's your results data, here's the graphic image that we loaded into the Athlinks profile. Put it together and print it.
Yes.
Where are we?
I want that too.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's kind of two things that are kind of not in engineering's hands yet, but have been quite thought through. One is, as you and I, Gail, have worked before, those very traditional finisher certificates. You got a finisher certificate without a photo, and then you get a version actually with a photo. That'll probably take some coordination between Nick and I, and then probably Dallin, because that's where the athlete will exercise that option. One of the things that I definitely want to do too, and for those of you that might be Nike Plus runners, where you can take a photo and then the results are superimposed or overlaid over the photo. That's something that I'll be prioritizing around, Gail, particularly. So it's in a way a version of a finisher certificate, because it would be their photo, and then over it's going to be their name, what event they're at, and then their time. So a pretty cool little filter in a way where the athlete's like, oh, yeah, add that to it. They'll see it happen in real time, and then they can extract it. So that's as much commentary I have on that front. But looking forward to that, because it's going to be pretty cool and pretty special for what we do in the industry.
Yeah, I think it's we're talking like there's 4 pieces to draw people back, and it's the results if you do a ranking, the photos, and then that finisher certificate. picture of them with
Yep.
I mean, there's so many applications for that final recognition piece. And I don't want to go to a third-party provider to come up with it.
No, we don't want you to
I
either.
wanna keep it right inside the whole system.
For sure.